When we complete a reserve study, we're well aware that typically the first thing our clients look for is our reserve contribution recommendation. Every year, every board member and manager wants and needs to know, what do I do now? So let's look at how we answer that question. The problem we're addressing is how much reserves to responsibly set aside. And that's the big question every board asks every year. What do I do now? So I'm glad you're with us today because we're going to clarify the influences and the decision points, building your knowledge so you'll be able to confidently lead your association successfully into the future. Now, I show this slide to illustrate the confusion around reserve contributions. What you see on screen are just 4 possible contribution rates that you can calculate from one set of reserve components. And you'll see that they're significantly different. And you're right to wonder how that can be. Usually there's only one correct answer to a question. But even though there's 4 here on screen, by the end of our time here today, I think you'll get comfortable that there is indeed a just right for your association. So let's start with the biggest influence. What do you think is the biggest influence on your reserve contribution rate? Got an idea? The largest influence on the contributions are the components of your association, and they're found on the component list. The variety, quantity, and condition of your common area assets define those upcoming expenses, and those expenses are the ones that your contributions are designed to offset. All the rest of the reserve study is built on the foundation of the reserve component list. And here's the sample reserve component list Ian and I will be using today. Probably shorter than most, but it'll do for the purpose of today's webinar. I expect that you've all seen something like this before. Each component has a description, a useful life estimate, remaining useful life estimate, and a current cost estimate. And because of its importance, we dedicate an entire webinar to the reserve component list. You can find that Reserve Studies 101 webinar either on our website or on YouTube. And it's on the basis of that component list that we calculate reserve fund strength and the funding plan. Our Reserve Studies 102 webinar, also available on YouTube and our website, is an overview of all those calculations and the entire financial analysis side of the reserve study. And those calculations of reserve fund strength are important because they give us guide points along the way into the future to help our decision-making about risk management, namely, how much margin against special assessments is going to suit the style and temperament of your association members. And that brings us to today, Reserve Studies 103, where we focus entirely on your funding plan, or contributions, you might say. The size of those contributions are going to be influenced both by the component list and the association's starting reserve fund balance. Meaning, are you starting from a position of strength or a position of weakness? And all the concepts we share with you today come from National Reserve Study standards, which have been in place and guiding the entire reserve study industry since 1998. If you have any follow-up questions on this material, please ask them in the comments below or contact us directly through our website. There you can get a proposal for your association or find other helpful resources in our articles or other recorded material. Make sure you also subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Let's plan for your best future.